Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Come on in. Today I want to discuss an issue that invariably is overlooked in classroom management, and it lends itself to being discovered, perhaps not in the best way. And the topic is planning for the substitute. When you're going to be out of the classroom, whether it's a conference, a meeting, a district orientation, whatever it might be, it does require planning. Now, I know that many of you have mentioned in your introductory tapes that you on occasion have substituted for the original teacher in the classroom. And you understand what that can be like. And I'm sure that you've experienced everything from someone who had a full lesson plan all mapped out for the day to walking in and the desk was semi-clean and cleared and you were on when that second bell rang. Substitute teaching to me, and I never did it, I was a classroom aide, but I never did substitute teaching, is the most difficult job that I can envision. I can't think of anything harder. I look back in shame to how I behaved when we had a substitute teacher in the K-8 environment. It was shameful, and I strove to push that limit with each successive visit. So it's a tough, tough job. What I want to do today is split the topic into two components. One is the instructional content, and the other is student behavior. So let's address the content piece first. My guidance is return to the Wong model and basically script out that entire day. The more information, the more knowledge, even the more narrative you can leave that substitute teacher, the better off that experience is going to be, both for the sub and for your students. Now realize you're coming back the following day, right? And you have to think, what kind of scenario do I want to walk into? Do I want it to be shambles? Or do I want it to be effectively as if I had never left? As if I were there? Obviously your goal is the latter. Like I said, script the entire day. Is this going to take some time? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes, yes, yes. All right. Also attach a seating chart. If you are in a secondary environment or a sixth grade environment and you roll through classes every period, then attach a seating chart that is labeled for each period. Okay? Also attach a bell schedule. Now it sounds like an obvious thing, but the subs float from school to school, and clearly all bell schedules are not the same. So attach a bell schedule for the sub. You want to be in a helping mode, because while you're gone, that sub would like to be in a helping mode for you. So set the stage. If there are particular transitional phrases, and this kind of is the gray area between content and behavior. If there are certain phrases that you use, identify those. Why? Because when your students hear those from the sub, they're going to be shocked and amazed. And think, holy moly, Miss Johannesburg is channeling through the sub, and she really is watching us. I'm perfectly fine with that degree of tricksterness, okay? You want the sub to succeed. You want your students to succeed. Why not work from both fronts? Okay, that's from the content standpoint. Let's shift down now into the behavior, student behavior. Whenever there is going to be something different going on, whether you'll be out of the classroom, whether you're having a visitor to the classroom, whether there's a new a bell schedule for tomorrow, or there's an assembly coming up, tell your students in advance. Take that element of surprise, which is also an opportunity for classroom management issues. Take that element of surprise away. Alert your students to tomorrow there will be a sub, okay? Now, discuss what basic content you'll be continuing with. We will continue with our math lesson relative to addition of 3 digits. We will continue with our science lesson in discussing insects. We will continue with our literature. Okay, you get the point. Set the stage for the students. Your notes will set the stage for the sub. Set the stage for the students, and then you have a joint awareness moving forward. All right? Discuss your behavioral expectations. And this is a big one. Now, don't nag, don't belabor, be succinct and concise and tell them what your expectations are. My expectations are that there will be 0 behavioral issues tomorrow during the time the substitute teacher is here. Those are my expectations. Okay? No questions there. No need for discussion. Discuss your expectations. If you do not, if you say nothing, I can guarantee you that that's what you'll get. Nothing. It will be a free-for-all. Your class will be a disaster that will continue the first half of the day after you return. Why would you do this to yourself? Don't. Discuss your behavioral expectations. Depending upon your grade level and what your school's discipline policy is, let me share what my discipline policy was. I did 7th grade. I told my students that any student identified by name in the substitute's write-up as a behavioral problem would automatically receive a behavioral referral. No questions asked. Any student's name identified in the sub's notes back to me as a behavioral problem would automatically be a behavior referral. And let's jump back up to the content piece. Put a note in there to your sub to please identify any behavior issues by name. So the 2 of those go together. Subs are probably going to be reluctant to say, well, the class was pretty good. I had some boys that were a little problematic, and then there was this one girl. No, you want names, and tell your sub to identify those for you. Okay? Over time, over a given school year, you will probably be out of the classroom 3, 4, 5 times for professional reasons. Or you may be out ill. You will identify certain substitutes who are abundantly productive in your class and who seem to have the capacity to be more in charge than others. If you are brand new to the classroom, then ask a colleague, ask someone else in your department or your grade level. Can you give me a name of a sub that you've used that was really good? Ask for a referral. You can do that. Okay? So, and then lastly, I have a note on here. If you use a particular technique, as I've suggested on many occasions, counting backwards and then lowering your voice from 3, 2, 1, 0. If you have certain techniques you employ in the classroom for calming purposes, alert the sub. Tell them, once again, you want that sub to be your voice while you're absent. They can't be your voice if they don't know what your voice says. It's that basic. All right, let's hit the high points. Content. Return to Wong. Go back to Harry and Rosemary and script out your day. Attach a seating chart. Attach a bell schedule. Now, if you're dealing with subfolders, those items are probably already in your folder. Moving on to behavior. Tell the class you're going to be out. Take that element of surprise away, because they will blow 10 minutes with, who's that? Why are they here? Where's Miss Bradshaw? Find her and she wasn't, with useless conversation, which is instructional downtime. Avoid that. Discuss your behavioral expectations. Alert them that anyone identified, there will be behavioral repercussions. And ask the sub to leave a note, obviously. And if you check the following day when you return with students who you trust and who are mature and say, how'd it go yesterday? And they say, wow, we just browsed through the lessons. She was really good. She kept us together. Then keep an inventory of those names. All right? This is a big one, planning for a sub. It needs to be addressed. You need to bank that as another piece of your successful opportunities in teaching. Let's get you back to class.